Dave Meltzer, though, like we got it here. NXT did 639K, 0.18, basically back to USA Network numbers in week 3 on CW. Yankees game did a 1.28 on cable. NXT beat Fox, but lost to the other networks. All those people who got furious and insulted me. Wait, hold on a second. We didn't even do this properly. We're going to back up. It's time for everybody's favorite segment, and it is called Dave Meltzer's Dumb Moment of the Week. NXT did 639K and 1.8, basically back to USA network numbers, actually, if we think about in week 3 on CW. Yankees actually did a 1.28 on cable. NXT beat Fox but lost to the other networks. So they beat Fox, that all you guys were talking about. All those people who got furious and insulted me week 1 when I said this would happen by week 4, you certainly can and won't apologize or learn that is my field. And he got these numbers first, because then his follow-up tweet, and this is in chronological order, I promise you guys, he was feeling himself, dude. I tell you guys, he's feeling himself, dude. Like he lost his keys, bro. He's feeling himself. You know what I'm saying? Listen, this dude's feeling all over himself. AEW did 633K, 0.20 with baseball playoffs and WNBA playoffs as the leading comment. No one watches WNBA that's watching AEW. So it's just a tale of 2 days. Like he gives a paragraph why NXT did good, and then he gives 2 sentences. Oh, AEW did really good despite all the competition in Batman. Guy, man. Neckbeards goes, wants proof yet can never provide proof or any of his claims. And so this guy goes, CW said they were expecting 500K the first week. So I'd say they'd be happy with 600K to 700K each week. And then Meltzer goes, show me the quote. But Meltzer, you're the guy who said that WBD, like we chronicle you, Dave. We chronicle you. You're caught, bro. It's so funny to me because it's like, bro, I caught you. He's the one who said that WBD would be cool with AEW getting 500K on their shows every week or whatever for Dynamite. So he's like, show me the quote. But no one can provide this quote from a WBD exec other than like Meltzer's quote and like Thurston's quote about WBD's real, which they got from Meltzer. So it's not Thurston. Oh, 500K WBD. And he's like, show me the quote. But this is what the sentiment's been forever for WBD. They're okay with 500K. Now you're saying, show me the quote.
The person should tweet back, oh, I was talking to a CW executive last week.
Yeah, dude.
That's what that's Dave's source. That's what he says.
It's like, where's the quote? Because I get called out for that. I'm like, the WBD execs say 500K. Where's the quote, Phil? Well, like Dave said that, and I'm just going based off them because they claim they know Tony and they're the experts. So let's go based off that. Dave, show me the quote. Where's your quote from an executive? You never gave a quote. You just said that shit.
Somebody replied to this and said it was from Mike Johnson, the PW Insider did an interview with somebody.
And Mike
so there actually was somewhere a quote that they could go to, right? Like someone that's like trustable. Unlike Dave and his people.
Dave didn't seem that bothered about Fast Nationals back in 2021 when he admitted they were leaked to him by sources, not WWE, before other journalists got them. So here's Dave crying over, because this is the new initiative, right? What did I tell you guys? See, this is why PWT's goated. What did I tell you guys? They're going to go after NXT and they're going to go after Alfred. And that's what they're doing to Alfred. The Fast Nationals. The Forbes guy. They all want to talk about it. Here's 2021 Meltzer when everyone was talking about AEW. He goes, someone says, are you implying that SRS is in the pockets of WWE? Not accusing, just want to clarify. And then Meltzer says, common practice. Just flat out says, and like, I don't put SRS, but like just flat out says SRS is in WWE's pocket. Like, come on, man. And he goes, by the way, I'd been leaking them for weeks prior to anyone else, but not from WWE. Then where? If you're hearing WWE, Dave, about not anyone from from anyone not from WWE. How is it confirmed? Like, he's so dumb. He buries himself. He's so stupid. He's so dumb. He buries himself. He doesn't understand how it's like.
And he
No,
does
Dave.
it in the most smug
So
tone.
you heard this from not WWE. So it's not real because like he's so stupid, man. And he goes, but I do care about market by market because then I can understand more about the numbers. Fast Nationals are a different set of ratings from the top 53 markets, which are then multiplied to give you an approximate national number. Usually they are fairly close or whatever. I usually get top 10 markets if I push for them and if the TV source isn't busy on Saturday. So I'll probably get them closer to Saturday this week because my source already told me he's interested. My source. And so someone goes right and add to this. Nielsen subscribers get fast nationals for broadcast programs as a standard practice. Blah, blah, same old tired. Dave goes, or they have sources. So anyone who has fast national source numbers have sources. Nobody is paying from my side and I get them. So nobody's paying. So now when he gets triggered by Alfred, oh, he gets the fast nationals. They're lying. It's fraudulent. Hey, but Dave, you used to get the fast nationals and it wasn't fraudulent. We caught you, bro. I'm drunk as I caught you. Like, this is what I'm saying. You're too dumb for me, bro. I'm way smarter than you, Dave. I'm betting Fox tells them ASAP, and who cares if the info is accurate? So who cares if the fast nationals are accurate? But then Dave just made a tweet saying Alfred Kono is fraudulent. And I hate to stick up for my friend here, but like you, Dave Meltzer, bro, I caught you, bro. You're done.
Red-handed.
Come to my show. You're done.
No, that's anybody who catches him or even questions him at all, he just ignores. That's why Conan had to softball him because
But this guy goes, Brandon Thurston talked about it a week ago on the WrestleNomics pod. He mentioned it costs a few $1,000s, whatever, to order in the Fast Nationals. Dave goes, it could be WWE. It's more like Fox to WWE. Fox gets them, and then they give them to WWE. So it's just highlighting. All this is highlighting. You guys go check this out. Meltzer said what? It's just highlighting how Meltzer is making excuses before for when he gets the Fast Nationals. You know, whatever his reports are, they're favorable. He likes getting them, whatever. But then fast forward, other people get them, and he's calling them frauds and because they get them and report on them. That's all we're highlighting here. Like, so go and read. Meltzer said what? I'm going to read you all this cope, but it's what the it is, man. Like, anyways, Meltzer said what? Says, so someone tweets to him, after your victory lap on NXT ratings, it must have crushed your soul when Dynamite rating came in and it was still lower. And Meltzer goes, why? I just report stuff. Oh, really, Dave? You just report stuff, so that's why you get mad about YouTube TV and you don't just report that they don't do an overrun and criticize them. Like, what you do is do a whole rant and say you have to learn to record yourself. You have to learn like me. So you do.
Brian,
so you're not. Brian, you're not coping. You're not like making excuses. All you're doing is just reporting. So like when Brian's like, "Yeah, YouTube TV is fucked." You don't go, yeah, it is. Because that would be reporting. Like, yeah, no, instead you go, well, you have to record it on. He's just such a fraud. And so, yeah, he just goes, you can't compare the two because of the network advantage with the cope. You know, it's always
just
cope.
Embarrassing. And
it is.
The smug tone behind it is what kills me. Like he says, you reading would be your friend. Oh, shut up, Dave. Just shut up.
So Will Ospreay versus Takeshita versus Ricochet is 5.5 stars.
Oh, of course.
And so as we've chronicled on the show, Dave thinks his star ratings are objective. They're not subjective. They're objective. And also he believes they're like a Richter scale, so they can keep going up if things get better and better. And also what he claimed is that he does not factor in storyline at all into his star ratings or venue or anything like that. So he rated Punk and McIntyre, where the biggest pop for that whole match was McIntyre dumping out a bag of beads on CM Punk because of the story that was told over that bracelet. But he somehow rated Punk and McIntyre 5 stars, and then this triple threat was 5.5. And according to Meltzer, guys, I've tracked this also. You can call me on my all you want. Go and listen to the show. I've exposed this fraud. He claims this. He claims this. It's subjective and he doesn't factor story. So the moves in this triple threat were a half star better than the moves in the Punk Drew match, where the biggest pop was for the beads because of the story. Do you guys get it? No one breaks Dave down like me. I don't care. Share it to your friends. I got your number, Dave, and you can't get away with this. Why do you care about Dave's scale? Why do people care about his ratings? Because he says they're objective fact, and he's stealing money from people. So that's why. If he just said,
so many people use his ratings, like
right, they use the things he says.
Matter.
WWE doesn't think this guy's being worthy of being pushed. Wrestle Purist will tweet that out. Drain Bamager will tweet that out. Why? Oh, Observer said that. Well, they're making up, and I've proved it. Even Bischoff and all these guys who don't like, no one breaks it. If you just watch, we chronicle it here at PWT. That's the thing. Let's watch every show. I have exposed Dave unlike anyone else. He's literally associated with the flute emoji because of Phil Marks. So there you go. Anyways, moving along. Awful Wrestling says, what Dynamite pulled these numbers? I swear Dave is so good at misdirection. If he was asked how Dynamite could improve, he'd tell you he was raised in a middle-class family. No, he's not good at misdirection, Awful, because I call him on it every time. He's not even good at it. But Meltzer, Dynamite Dave goes, he responds to, when Dynamite can get 41K in attendance for a weekly show like Nitro did, then we can talk. They can barely get 3K right now. If we want to keep comparing, there's plenty. Both did. Meltzer goes, they beat that twice. So they beat 41K in attendance twice. Okay.
For pay-per-views, not for a weekly show.
Yeah, with Tony selling $1 tickets.
Coping.
Yeah, exactly. Tony was selling $1 tickets. And Meltzer goes, also, the paid was 36 for that show. Well below AEW show at Wembley. So now he's on the 40K in the Atlanta or whatever. AEW's attendance will still.
But it was a Nitro, not a pay-per-view.
Exactly.
Such an asshole.
Then the show at Wembley. It was a Nitro. AEW's attendance is still this year ahead of many WCW years, although not the peak period. God. But the peak period is what matters, because the peak period is what Tony keeps comparing himself to and getting triggered over. You dumb asshole. That's why I call you out. Moving on. So
you dumb son of a bitch.
Yeah. So Kevin Owens WWE contract situation. Listen to Meltzer here. He goes, regarding Owens and his contract, there are a lot of different stories going around. Are there, or are there just the ones you're making up? And he goes, there are reports that he's signing. He says there are reports that he's close to signing or hasn't signed, could go to AEW in January when his deal is up. Dave, those are two very vastly different ends of a spectrum that maybe don't talk if you don't know about it. Because is he close to signing, or has he not signed and could go to AEW? Those are two very different things. And Dave is just saying both of the things. He goes, I do know that multiple people in wrestling have said, dating back to Bash in Berlin, that they believed he signed, but it's being kept quiet. But that's wrestling rumors that we haven't been able to directly confirm. But you can't confirm your other show. You'd say we can confirm he's signing to AEW. That's what I mean. We can't confirm this, but maybe he'll sign to AEW, which we can confirm. It's like for Mount. Those closest to the situation have not said anything about any of the different versions of the story. So This is literally what he's saying. Even though I made up all these versions of the story, no one close to him said any of these versions that I made up of the versions of the story. But he might come to AEW. That's literally what he's doing, chat. It's disgusting. If a Will Ospreay has a match in a stadium or arena and no one goes to see it, does it still get 5 or more stars? It gets 5 stars. It's Will Ospreay.
7 if it's the Tokyo Dome.
Yeah, so Dave just making up, doesn't know anything, had to write a story about it. Here's Alvarez. We're going to quote this again.
You can't literally run a promotion just for the AEW, what do they call them, sickos?
Yeah.
If you run a promotion just for the sickos, you're going to do 400,000 viewers eventually. Like, you got to run a promotion for everybody. The sickos can be the ones that buy tickets first and spend the most money on the merchandise and like are the complete.
They're still trying to perpetrate that narrative of like, oh, AEW fans are richer and smarter. It's like, that's not true. I'm so sorry. Whenever they go, oh, you guys like the McDonald's slop that's them projecting because they will just like watch a fatal 4-way between 4 random. So them for saying any type of. Anyways, we're going to move along. Will Ospreay versus Ricochet versus Konosuke Takeshita is called the greatest triple threat match in wrestling history, according to Dave Meltzer. Compared to this match, Daniels, Joe, and AJ, Unbreakable. The Royal Rumble with Rollins, Cena, Brock, which is like, maybe theirs was maybe better, maybe, but these guys are all way more over. But then like Gunther, Sheamus, Drew, which in my opinion is like the greatest triple threat match of all time, because I'm not a big fan of like, oh, the triple threat, but it was so good. And then you have Michaels, Benoit, Triple H, which from my all-time favorite WrestleMania is 20. It's like 18, 19, 20, 17, 18, 19, 20. That's like my run of like the, for me personally. Yeah, that Benoit winning the belt was like way better than Ospreay, Takeshita. Like, let's just be honest here. So the greatest triple threat match I get. The Wrestling Observer newsletter says WWE WrestleMania is no longer the top priority for London. We cover this as the NFL has expressed interest in hosting the Super Bowl in Wembley Stadium.
They can't have 2 priorities. They can't want both.
And the mayor of London's like, we're running a whole re-elect me and I'll do WrestleMania. He hasn't said about the Super Bowl. I don't know. These people are stupid. Dave's just saying that, making things up clearly. Okay,
well, the NFL was just recently in London this past weekend, and so
because of Tony Khan,
there was probably people talking about it, and that was probably brought up somewhere. Right?
Tony Khan's brought the NFL there.
Jacksonville was there. You're right.
Exactly. So Jay Angel's loyalty. So whatever he has to say. But Meltzer says, question. If Tony had unlimited money to spend, why are Reigns, Heyman, Rollins, Lesnar, Ripley not working for him? Answer, because he didn't have unlimited money to spend. No, Dave, it's because they're not marks, and they're not going to go work for this money mark. They value their career over their bank account.
That. And they'll make just enough. They'll do just fine in WWE.
Fine. Their bank accounts are fine. Why doesn't he have unlimited? Because he's not. What you couldn't get Reigns away from WWE unless you were like $20 million a year, and then he'd maybe do it. But Tony Khan's not willing to spend it, and that doesn't mean he doesn't have unlimited money. It doesn't mean he couldn't give Roman $20 million a year. It means he won't give him that much a year because you're a goofy Mark. So MJ from NJ says, I'd just like to point out Dave thinks AEW's valuation is 10 times gross revenue. It's true. That's mind-boggling stupid for a person who says this is what he does. Remember, Dave, I'm an expert. I'm an expert. Dave goes, if I bought my son a play set and he worked on it for 5 years and it was growing to gross 260 to 300 million next year and be worth well over 2 billion, I'd have realized I really didn't. Bro, what is he talking about? I'd have realized I didn't really buy my son a playset, but a successful business. God damn it. Gross and revenue and profit and all of these things are so different. And Dave has no idea. Guys, we got him. He has no idea what he's talking about at all. I get old beliefs die hard, but you've got to let it die. It's not healthy living with your narrative. It's not healthy. Dave wants to talk about what's healthy with his steroided out middle schooler body in a 5'2" frame in a dirty, cluttered office with so many papers.
I retweeted that and said, you want to talk about healthy living, Dave. You work in a pig out of a pigsty, and you live and you operate in a fantasy world.
So Dynamite Dave,
he's literally, his brain is melted.
So Meltzer said says Dynamite Dave was just adding in his own personal and obvious commentary that the NFL Super Bowl is bigger than WWE. But we can't expect him to be Googling information he prints. Also, what if London got both? Exactly. What if they got Mania and the Super Bowl? Different years, different budgets. Here's Dave talking. He goes, there's real talk of that. But when Roger Goodell talked about the idea of a Super Bowl at Wembley, when it comes to WWE, they're now in a distant second place when it comes to priorities in the city. I don't know, man. What else can I say about him? He's a sick freak from anyone's perspective. American. I see people going like, no Americans ever said all that. Listen to me. Dave is just saying, bro, he cut a whole video about we're going to bring WrestleMania here. They can't have WrestleMania and the Super Bowl, Dave.
No,
Like,
one event per year in your city. That's it. That's all you ever get.
In one of the largest tourist attraction cities in all of the world, you can only have one, the Super Bowl or Mania. It's a distant second. He's literally saying this and then there's idiots. We covered it earlier going, oh yeah, Wembley wants all in and they don't want WrestleMania. No, they want Mania. You dumb. They want Mania, but they have to bid a bunch of money for it. That's why they don't get it. They don't give up if they get all in or not, but Tony pays the money for it, and that's why they allow it to go down. It's very simple to understand if you understand very simple things in this world. Okay? I don't know what we got to say to some of these sickos, but it is what it is, man. Dave's fucking freak. And so Heel Uzi says, question, who pays Meltzer $15 a month? Meltzer says, question, if Tony Khan had unlimited money to spend, why or blah, blah, blah. We read this before. We know why it's not the case. He does have unlimited money to spend. It's just a matter of he's not willing to spend what some of these people are worth. Even I say it, I'm like, no, the TV show will last forever. Yes, he'll run the show with Garcia and Allen and everything. But once all these people jump off the ship, he will, dude. He'll run it with all the guys that Jack Perry and the Bucks, for sure, dude. But as far as like we speculated on the show, what would it take to get Roman away from WWE? You have to be like, dude, we'd give you $10 million a year, no guarantee dates. You'd have to do some crazy like collabing with Jordan. No one cares. That's the thing. No one cares about AEW. Why? Because the storytelling. Because you goofy old ass you, Dave, the old ass podcaster. You, not me. You old ass podcast. I'm calling you out. It's because I roast you all the time. I don't even got much to even say to you. Dave Meltzer, Celty Melty. I know you're listening. Actually, you're probably not. But is his name really Dave Meltz without the R? Is that really a thing? Chat, do you guys see that? Dave Meltzy? Meltzy, Celty, Weltsy? But yeah, it's because Dave, Roman, even if you were like 10 million a year, there's bigger value being associated with the WWE. That's what none of you goofball idiots ever factor in. Oh, MJF got all these movie roles. Great. It's an outlier. 99% of people, if you're associated with WWE, it's a bigger and better thing. Period. And like you'll get all this money up front. What about the long term, Dave? You don't want to talk about that because you don't have the long term because you're an old senile prick. You're the old podcaster. You got 10, 15 years left on that clock, Dave. And I just turned 33 today, bitch. I'm going to be here 10, 20, maybe 30 more before I make the millions you've made off of these morons that believe the lies you tell them. And I'm not mad at them, but they're mad at me, Dave. So they're going to get cooked, bitch. And that's PWT Live Show right there.